Hi there and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be learning about if statements. If statements allow our programs to make decisions depending on a Boolean. Let's get started with a friend name. Let's say we've got a friend called Rolf, and we want to check whether the user's name is Rolf. So the first thing we have to do is ask the user for their name, and then we're going to start typing our first if statement. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the first keyword, if. The if keyword is followed by a space, and then we put the Boolean. If this Boolean is true, then we will execute some code. So if true, we will execute some code. So we're going to say, hello, friend. Now, of course, true is always true, so this if statement is always going to execute. So what we want to put it here instead of true is a Boolean condition that depends on our variables, one of which is something dynamic that the user types. That way, every time the user runs the program, they can type something different, and this if statement will behave in one way or another. What we're going to put here is if user underscore name equal friend. Now, whenever we run this program, the friend variable will equal to Rolf, and the username variable will equal to whatever the user types. Then we will compare them, and if this evaluates to true, the if statement will run this code here. If it evaluates to false, then the if statement will not run this code. Now, let's talk about the syntax of the if statement. First of all, we have the if keyword, then we have our Boolean, then we have this colon, which is necessary in the if statement at the end of the first line, and then we have the body of the if statement. Now, something very important about if statements is that they have to have spaces in front of each line. Usually we use 4 spaces in Python. That's important because if you want to add another thing inside the if statement, such as print this runs to, this also has 4 spaces in front of it, and therefore Python knows that both of these prints are inside the if statement, and they should run only if this evaluates to true. As soon as you eliminate those spaces and you type something else, this is no longer part of the if statement. It always runs because it's outside the if statement. So to recap, this if statement will run this code inside the body only if this is true, and these lines need to have some spacing so that Python knows that they are both inside the if statement. Then when you take away the spaces, Python knows that the if statement is terminated. Notice that you cannot do this because Python would give you an error. This follows a line that doesn't have spaces in front, so it's not part of the if statement. It's just a line with spaces in front, and Python won't like that. So make sure that all the lines that are inside the if statement have these spaces. As soon as you terminate the spaces, you terminate the if statement. Let's run this just to show you how it works. I'll type in Rolf, and you'll see the 3 things printed out. Hello, friend, this runs to, and this runs anyway. And now if I run it again and I type Bob, you'll see that this runs anyway is printed out. That's this line here. And these 2 lines don't get printed out because the username was not equal to the friend in this case. Now imagine you wanted to do something if the username is equal to the friend, such as print hello friend, and also something if they are not equal to one another, such as hello stranger. You could do something like this. You can do this, but it is a little bit verbose.